All right, and we're live. Hey everyone, my name is Gabe, and here's this book. I just before I go back to school after spring break. Here we go. Hope y'all like it and everything. I like the book. It's called Matilda. My daddy read it to me. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hey, okay. So, I was little joke there because the short were I had myself as a kid. Like, what if I was in Matilda? Yeah, so now this is what we're actually reading. Yep. And I do have some other books I do plan to read after this one. One reason I thought about this one first, and actually went out and got it from Barnes and Noble. It's got a different cover on it from the one I grew up with, but it is the same story inside. Um, Even got the Netflix logo, which I think is referring to um, possibly the old night the first Matilda movie, Mara Wilson, or it could also be referring to the musical that recently came out. I forgot when that was it came out, but I know it was somewhat recent. The Matilda musical. Did not know that was a thing, but apparently it is. So, but of course, I grew up with the book here and the film with Mara Wilson in it. So we're going into the book there. Um, might possibly talk about the film in a stream, maybe possibly after I finish the book and everything. Yeah, I might possibly give the film a mention there. Like what I as far as and then chances are I'm probably going to mention some things about the film in general, comparison to the book of how the two portray the story there. As you can see, we got some little illustrations here. It's Matilda, yeah, kind of got a slight Charlie Brown feel, a little bit. The illustration is done by Quentin Blake. Yep, and got on the back here. Yay, I'm Matilda! All the way. So, yeah, it's pretty good. It got illustrations throughout the book as you read it and everything. So, gonna go on and dive into it there. Um, do apologize about being so late there, but apparently, I don't know what it is. It's like lately, just kind of like that. But anyway, we're gonna go and get into it there. Oh, excuse me. Ro- the Matilda by I think it's Roald Dahl. Okay, Roald Dahl. Say Matilda is a brilliant child with a magical mind, but her parents have decided she is a waste of space. Wow, that's kind of some cruel parents there, as we know, especially from the movie version too. And her head mistress, Miss Trunchbull, is a terrible bully who thinks children are rotten and awful and should be locked up. It's time for Matilda to find the power to change her story and show them just how extraordinary a child can be, especially when the movie comes out and she's played by Mara Wilson. Yeah. And as you probably saw in the short I put up on the channel earlier, yes, when I was a kid and I first got exposed to the Matilda movie, I'm not sure if I saw the movie before or after I read the book, but when I saw the movie as a kid, I did have a crush on Matilda. I didn't know the actress name back then. I just knew her by Matilda because of the character. And as you saw in the short, where I had me as a kid riding bikes with Matilda to the grocery store, which apparently was Kroger. Um, Originally, I had a dream back as a kid that we actually rode to Brookshires on our bikes. And then she said after when we were leaving Brookshires that and anybody that worked at Kroger, don't get mad at me for bringing Brookshires. I didn't work at Kroger back then. So anyway, she said, "Hey Gabe, I'll meet you at the gym." And I woke up 3 o'clock in the morning telling my mom, Matilda said she's gonna meet me at the gym. Okay, okay, Gabe, now go back to sleep now. And yeah, and instead of the gym, there was a area in the gym my mom went to, and she would take me with her, where they had a little area for little kids and everything to like a little play area. So that's what meant by that there. So all right, so let's get on into this here. And apparently, there's a list of books by Roald Dahl. Very familiar books. Some of y'all probably recognize them. I know I recognize some of these books. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the book and several movies off of that. The Giraffe and the Pelly and Me. Hadn't heard of that one. George's Mischievous Medicine. Uh, Jade and the Giant Peach. I definitely have read that book and seen the movie. Uh, Thanks to Disney. The Missing Golden Ticket and Other Prolific Secrets. The Enormous Crocodile. The Billy and Minpin. Dirty Beast. The Witches. The Magic Finger. The Victor of Nibblewick. It's got some quite some titles here. Danny, the Champion of the World. The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, and six more. The Complete Adventure of Charlie and Mr. Willy Wonka. Okay. Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator. Roald Dahl's Revolving Rhymes. So it must be a poetry book. Miss Fantastic Mr. Fox. I think now I hadn't read that one, but I think I saw that at the store when I went to get this book. Going Solo, The Twins, the BFG, Matilda, of course, that's what we're about to read. Boy, and they don't mean boy from Zoo Ranger, and Estotrod. Okay, I'm gonna turn this down. I was trying to keep cool, so let's see. No, 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 no. Okay, here we go. Turn it down right. Yeah, I think that'll work. Okay, see it at that level. Yeah, so I was kind of hot earlier. Well, of course, I apologize. The Trunchbull is no match for Matilda, especially when she got those powers like she got. Matilda is a sweet, exceptional young girl, but her parents think she is just a nuisance. She's she expects school to be different, but there, there she has to face Miss Trunchbull, a kid-hating terror of a head mistress. Makes you wonder why does she work there. When Matilda is attacked by the Trunchbull, she suddenly discovers that she has a remarkable power with which to fight back, and it'll take a superhuman genius to give Miss Trunchbull what she deserves, and Matilda may just be the one to do it. By the way, those of y'all who are coming in and out of here, or coming in, definitely put a like up here. Definitely like as you're coming in. Say that way YouTube can know this is a pretty good little live stream here, reading about Matilda. So definitely give a like. And of course, we have a little black and white of the illustration here. So we got the contents. Okay, so apparently they don't. Let's see. They don't put them like by chapter one, two, three. They just put different titles. Think like sections of the book itself there. Okay, to the reader of the books. It's a funny thing about mothers and fathers. Even when their own child is the most disgusting little blister you could ever imagine, they still think that he or she is wonderful. Some parents go further. They become so blinded by adoration that they manage to convince themselves that their child has qualities of genius. Well, there is nothing very wrong with this at all. It is the way of the world. It is only when the parents begin telling us about the brilliance of their own child that the brilliance of their own child, say their own revolving offspring, that we start shouting back, "Bring us a basin, we are gonna be sick." Yeah, oh, look at my kid. Aren't they so smart? My kid can do this, my kid can do that. Oh, and look at what he did. Oh, look at he's so cute. Oh, oh boy. And here's some little drawings here, I guess, of some kids and a couple right here, and some crickets there. Interesting. I don't think Jimmy the Cricket's gonna make an appearance in this. Oh, excuse me. School teachers, school teachers suffer a great deal from having to listen to this sort of twaddle from proud parents, but they usually get their own back when the time comes to write the end of the term reports. If I was a teacher, I would cook up some real scorchers for the children of doting parents. Your son Maximilian, the Maximilian, I guess not talking about Maximilian Pegasus from Yu-Gi-Oh. I could write is a total washout. I hope you have a family business you can push him into when he leaves school, because he sure as heck won't get a job anywhere else around here. Oh. It is a curious truth that grasshoppers have their hearing organism in their size of their anatomy. Your daughter Vanessa, judging by what she's learned, has no hearing organism. Oops, okay. I'm just gonna turn this off here for right now. Oh, there we go. All right. I might delve deeper into natural history and say the periodical cicada spends 6 years as a grub underground, and no more than 6 days as a free creature of sunlight and air. Your son Wilford has spent 6 years as a grub in this school, and we're still waiting for him to emerge from the chrysalis. A particularly poisonous little girl might sting me into saying Fiona has the same glacial beauty as an iceberg. And Fiona, but unlike the iceberg, she has absolutely nothing below the surface. I think I might enjoy writing into the term reports for the stinkers in my class. But enough about that. We have to get on. Occasionally, one comes across parents who take the opposite line, who show no interest at all in their children. And these, of course, are far worse than the doting ones. Mr. and Mrs. Wormwood were two such parents. They had a son called Michael and a daughter named Matilda. And as you can see, there we are. So there's the son Michael, and there is the daughter Matilda, and there she is again. Huh. Reading quite a big paper, by the way. Hmm. Hmm. That does. Excuse me. And the parents looked upon Matilda in, in particular as nothing more than a scab. A scab is something you have to put up with until the time comes where you can pick it off and pick it away. Hmm. Mr. and Mrs. Wormwood looked forward enormously to the time when they could pick their little daughter off and flick her away. Ouch. Preferably into the next county or further than that. It is bad enough when your parents treat an ordinary child as though they were scabs and bunions, but it becomes somewhat a lot worse when the child in question is extraordinary. And by that, I mean sensitive and brilliant. Matilda was both of those things, but above all, she was brilliant. Her mind was so nimble and she was so quick to learn that her ability should have been obvious to most half-witted to the most half-witted of parents. But Mr. and Mrs. Wormwood were so groomless and so wrapped up in their own silly lives, they failed to notice anything unusual about their daughter. To tell you the truth, I doubt that they would have noticed she even if she crawled into the house. They would have even they I doubt they would have noticed she crawled into the house with a broken leg. Mm. Matilda's brother Michael was perfectly normal. Was a perfectly normal boy, but the sister, as I say, was something that make your eyes pop. By the age of 1.5, her speech was perfect. She knew as many words as most grown-ups. Yeah, excuse that train out there. I guess that's the early midnight express. Hey, as most and the parents, instead of applauding her, called her a noisy chatterbox and told her sharply that small girls should be seen and not heard. Oh my God, that old seen and not heard. By the time she was 3, Matilda had taught herself to read by studying newspapers and magazines lying around the house. At the age of 4, she could read fast and well, and she naturally began hankering after books. The only book in this the only book in the whole of this enlightened household was something called Easy Cooking that belonged to her mother. And when she read it from cover to cover, she learned all the recipes by heart and decided she wanted something more interesting. Yeah, a little bookworm there. And that's another picture of her there. Hmm. Daddy, she said, do you think you could buy me a book? A book, he said. What do you want a flaming book for? To read, Daddy. What's wrong with the telly, for heaven's sake? We've got a lovely telly with a 12-inch screen. And now you come asking for a book? You're getting spoiled, my girl. Mm. Sounds like in the movie when she asks, there's nothing you can learn from a book that you can't learn on television. Nearly every weekend afternoon, Matilda was left alone in the house. Her brother, 5 years older than her, went to school. And by the way, they say they just listen to this. She nearly every weekday afternoon was left in the house alone. Last we just read, Matilda they had went from 1.5 to 3 years old. You're leaving a 3-year-old home alone. You know, you remember home you as a Home Alone, they left Kevin by himself, but it was by accident. And he was 8 years old. And again, it was an accident. Of course, in Home Alone 3, they did sort of leave him on purpose at 8, but then there was the whole thing of, well, Mrs. Hess is going to watch him somewhat, but yeah, a 3-year-old, it's quite a stretch here. Hmm. So again, nearly every weekday afternoon, Matilda was left alone in the house. Her brother, 5 years older than her, went to school. Her father went to work, and her mother went out to play bingo in the town 8 miles away. Mrs. Wormwood was hooked on bingo and played it 5 afternoons a week. On the afternoon of the day when her father had refused to buy her a book, Matilda set out all by herself. to walk to the public library in the village. When she arrived, she introduced herself to the librarian, Mrs. Phelps. She asked if she might sit a while and read a book. Miss Phelps, slightly taken back at the arrival of such a tiny girl, unaccompanied by a parent, nevertheless told her she was very welcome. Where are the children's books, please? Matilda asked. Oh, they're over they're right over there on the lower shelves, Mrs. Phelps told her. Would you like me to help you find one? A very nice one with lots of pictures in it? No, thank you. I'm sure I can manage, said Matilda. What? Well, the librarian was in shock there. Give me just one. I'm gonna be right back, guys. I really need a handkerchief real quick. Be right back. Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. And be sure to give a like. I'll be right back. Oh, hanky. Okay, yeah, here we get the. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm coming back, guys. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. Okay, that's much better. Yeah, let's see. All right, let's get back in here. All right. Hey, say. So from then on, every page five. Okay. Hey, how's it going? 7WZZ. Okay. It's kind of okay. Say nice of you to join in the reading of Matilda here. Make be sure y'all. Oh, thanks for the like there. Appreciate that there. Yep. All right. Let's continue. From then on, every afternoon, as soon as her mother had left for bingo, Matilda would toddle down to the library. The walk took only 10 minutes, and this allowed her 2 glorious hours sitting quietly by herself in a cozy corner, devouring one book after another. Little clip. That's how she kind of laughed in the movie there. Okay. When she had read every single children's book in the place, she started wandering around in search of something else. Miss Phelps, who had been watching her with fascination for the past few weeks, now got up from her desk and went over to her. Can I help you, Matilda? She asked. I'm wondering what to read next, Matilda said. I've finished all the children's books. You mean you've looked at the pictures? Yes, but I've read the books as well. Miss Phelps looked down at Matilda from a great height. Matilda looked right back up at her. That's how a lot of us grown folks appear to small children like this, almost like we be the giants there. The I thought I thought some were very poor, Matilda said, but others were very lovely. I liked the secret garden best of all, full of mystery. The mystery, the room. Let's see, make sure I didn't skip no page. Okay. The mystery of the room behind the closet door and the mystery of the garden behind the big wall. I think I remember that story about the secret garden. I think we may have had that story told us in class, and there possibly might be a movie on that too. Yeah, and that's the Matilda with the librarian. They really made her small in these pictures there. Which, yeah, because she's supposed to be like 3 years old at this point. You just imagine a 3 year old walk right in the library like this. There. Hey. Anywho, Oh, wait, we're about to find out something here. Miss Phelps was stunned. Exactly how old are you, Matilda? She asked. 4 years and 3 months, Matilda said. Oh, so now, she's four at this point now. Hmm. Now, Miss Phelps was even more stunned than ever, but she had the sense not to show it. What sort of a book would you like to read next? She asked. Matilda said, I would like a really good one that grown-ups read. A famous one, but I don't know any names. Miss Phelps looked among the shelves, taking her time. She didn't quite know what to bring out. How, she asked herself, does one choose a famous grown-up book for a 4-year-old to read? Her first thought was to pick a young teenager's romance of the kind that is written for 15-year-old girls, but for some reason she found herself instinctively walking past that particular shelf. Try this, she said at last. It's a very famous and very good. If it's too long for you, just let me know and I'll find something shorter and a bit easier. Great Expectations, Matilda read, by Charles Dickinson. I love to try it. Charles Dickens there. And you must be mad, Miss Phillips told herself. But to Matilda she said, of course you may try it. Over the next few afternoons, Miss Phelps could hardly take her eyes from the small girl sitting for hour after hour in the big armchair at the far end of the room with the book in her lap. It was necessary to rest it on her lap because it was too heavy for her to hold up. Boy, which meant she had to sit leaning forward in order to read it. And this picture of her reading these big books here. Ooh, boy. A strange a strange sight it was. This tiny, dark-haired person sitting there with her feet nowhere near touching the floor, totally absorbed in the wonderful adventures of Pip and old Miss Havasum and her cobwebbed house, and by the spell of magic that Dickens, what a great storyteller, had woven with his words. The only movement from the reader was the lifting of the hand every now and then to turn over the page, and Miss Phelps always felt sad when it came time for her to cross the floor and say, It's 10 to 5, Matilda. Oh, I guess, library, I guess, closing, or maybe her time. Sure. During the first week of Matilda's visits, Miss Phillips said to her, does your mother walk you down here every day and take you home? My mother goes to um, Athleybury. I think it's you got say Matilda, you got me here because I'm trying to say this word, and I'm guessing you pronouncing it perfectly. Wow, I guess. Or do you have? Can you pronounce words like a 4-year-old? Almost like, are you smarter than a fifth grader? It's Aylesbury. I think Aylesbury. I think, yeah. Boy, it's almost like when I try to pronounce words in the Bible. There, some of the names there. every afternoon, every afternoon to play bingo. Matilda had said, she doesn't know I come here, but that's surely not right. I think you better ask her. I'd rather not, Matilda said. She doesn't encourage reading books, and nor does my father. But what do they expect you to do every afternoon in such an empty house? Just mooch around and watch the telly? I see. She doesn't really care what I do, Matilda said a little sadly. Ooh, yeah, that is kind of yeah. I'd be a little concerned too. There, don't get me wrong. I like the telly too, but I mean, not 24/7. I mean, that's one reason why it's good to balance out with reading. Yeah. Miss Phelps was concerned about the child's safety on the walk through a fairly busy village high street and crossing of the road, but she decided not to interfere. Yeah, yeah, that'd be really kind of concerning in the real world of today's time. Yeah. This is back in the time period that's a little different here. Within a week, Matilda had finished Great Expectations, which in that edition contained 411 pages. I loved it, she said to Miss Phil. Has Mr. Dickens written any others? A great number, said the astounded Miss Philip. Shall I choose you another? Over the next 6 months under Miss Phelps' wonderful and compassionate eye, Matilda read the following books. Let's take another look at what they labeled this chapter as here. I know they don't say chapter one, but I'm just. Oh, the reader of books. Okay. I was thinking this whole time, I was thinking like it was saying to the readers there. That's what, okay, that kind of threw me off there. Oh boy. Okay, so it's to the reader of books. That's what it is. Okay. All right. So Matilda read the following books: Nicholas Nickleby by Charles Dickens. All these by Charles Dickens, by the way. Oliver Twist. I've heard of that one. Yeah. Not sure if I read Oliver Twist, but I definitely heard about it, and I kind of know what it's about. And I'm not talking about the movie Oliver and Company. Oliver Twist. About the I think it's about like in some orphans there. I remember they even mentioned this book in Author once. The PBS show What a Wonderful Kind of Day, and it was an episode where DW thought that her and Arthur's parents were going to get a divorce and they'd be orphans like Oliver Twist. Yeah, that was kind of dark there. Jane I, Pride and Prejudice. Oh yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, I think Will read this book in well, at least his character in the Fresh Prince was ready because his friend Ice Tray picked. Oh no! Oh wait, I take that back. That was Crime and Punishment. Okay. Pride and Prejudice. But I have heard that title too. Tess of the Undervilles by Thomas Hardy. Okay, wait. All of these are not by Charles Dickens. Okay. Jane Eyes by Charlotte Bronte. Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. Gone to Earth by Mary Webb. Kim by Rudyard Kipling. The Invisible Man by H.G. Wells. That sounds interesting. The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway. The Sound and the Fury by William Faulkner. The Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck. Good Companions by J.B. Priestley. Brighton Rock by Graham Greene. Animal Farm by George Orwell. Hmm. Well, the fact I really, you know what? I'm just gonna say it. I would have, yeah, I would have loved to have been a kid growing up in this universe there. Cause just imagine Matilda is reading, is already at this level of reading at 4 years old, and then she gets and all this sharpens her mind, gets her super smart and everything, and she's just and then she becomes like a genius and everything. You imagine being friends with her at school, and and she is and as a kid, you're reading books with her. Yeah, yeah. That's a now that I would definitely hang out with her. Yeah, it was a formidable list, and by now Miss Phelps was filled with wonder and excitement. But it was probably a good thing that she did not allow herself to be carried away by all of it. Almost anyone else witnessing the achievements of this small child would have been tempted to make a great fuss and shout all over the village, to shout the news all over the new village and beyond. And not Miss Phelps. She was someone who minded her business and had long since discovered that it was seldom worth while to interfere with other people's children. There, yeah. Oh, you just imagine the use me if say I know it says she did it, but just imagine if she or somebody else got word of this 4-year old reading all these books. Oh, hello, news report. Yes, I got a story for you. 4-year-old child reads books and reads very hard advanced adult books, and her parents don't give a dang. Oh boy, that would yeah, that would be quite a report. Not especially in this day and time, because some in this day and time, chances are this would have ended up on TikTok or something. Mister Mister Him. Oh, excuse me. Let's see. I think she's talking about one of the authors. Okay. Mr. Hamway says a lot of things I don't understand, Matilda said to her, especially about men and women, but I loved it all the same. The way he tells it feels like I'm right there on the spot watching it all happen. A fine writer will always make you feel that, said Miss Phelps. Kind of like me with reading this book here, because I'm wanting to hang out with Matilda, like I imagined back when I was a kid. Don't worry about the bits you can't understand. Sit back and allow the words to wash you around like music. Hmm. It's kind of like people studying for like people when they get a role in a play, and a lot of time they like EJ mentioned in the interview for a soldier's play. He mentioned that a lot of the actors were told not to look at the film Soldier's Play in order to learn the roles for themselves and everything. Now the thing was EJ had looked at the movie, but this was before he even had got the part, so he didn't even know he was going to get this, be in this play. So, but that's what they were told when they first got their parts in there and everything. So, kind of makes me think of that there. I will. I will. Did you know, Miss Phillips said, that public libraries like this allow you to borrow books and take them home? I didn't know that, Matilda said. Could I do it? Of course. When you've chosen the book you want, bring it to me so I can make a note of it. And it's yours for 2 weeks. You can take more than one if you wish. Hmm. Don't forget that library card, too. Mhm. From then on, Matilda would visit the library only once a week in order to take out new books and return old ones. In her own small bedroom now became her reading room, and there she would sit and read most of the afternoon, often with a mug of hot chocolate beside her. Sounds delicious. She was not quite tall enough to reach things around the kitchen, but she kept a small box in the outhouse, which she brought in. Outhouse is that? The outhouse which she brought in and stood on in order to get whatever she wanted. Mostly it was hot chocolate she made, warming the milk in the saucepan on the stove before before mixing it. Occasionally, she made Bourvon or Ovaltine. Oh yeah, I remember Ovaltine. Remember, because they had Nestle chocolate milk. Then eventually we got that Ovaltine. It was like Ovaltine. They was talking about how it was so much better than Nestle chocolate milk. I don't think I have, and yeah, now I've had Nestle chocolate milk, but I don't think I had the pleasure of having Ovaltine there. Um, who knows? Maybe I might try it one day. If I try, it's probably gonna be with almond milk. But yeah, but of course, back then I did drink regular milk. So, but yeah, I never did get to my folks never got it. Like I said, I was a kid, but my folks had never got it. They always got the Nestle or Hershey's chocolate milks there. So it was pleasant to take up a hot drink to her room and have it beside her as she sat in her silent room, reading in the empty house all afternoons. The books transported her into new worlds and introduced her to amazing people who lived exciting lives. She went on olden day ships, sailing ships with Joseph Conrad. Okay. She went to Africa with Ernest Hemingway, and to India with Rudyard Kipling. She traveled all over the world while sitting in her little room in an English village. And the books will take you to places, or like just like in what they mentioned in Author, when you say have adventures, and saying I didn't have a single adventure, especially now in the rainy days when all you did was sit around reading books. And he thought back, and yeah, he had adventures. Three Musketeers, Gulliver's Island, Pirate Adventures. Yeah, there she is reading there. Okay, all right. Let's see. So we got. Let me see. Maybe I could squeeze in one more because they kind of that one was kind of lengthy there. Let's see. Seven. So that first one, 3, everything. Okay, 4. Okay, yeah, that was pretty big. So I think I can squeeze in about Mr. Wormwood here. Okay, we're gonna Mr. Wormwood, the great car dealer. Matilda's parents owned quite a nice house with 3 bedrooms, while on the ground floor there was a dining room, a living room, and a kitchen. Her father was a dealer in secondhand cars, and he did it pretty well. Sawdust, he would say proudly. One of the great secrets of my success. Cost me nothing. I get it free from the sawmill. What do you use it for? Matilda asked. Ha! Wouldn't you like to know? He said. I don't see how sawdust can help you sell secondhand cars, Daddy. That's because you're an ignorant little twit, the father said. His speech was never very delicate, but Matilda was used to it. She also knew that he liked to boast, and she would egg him on shamelessly. You must be very clever to find use for something that costs nothing. I wish I could do it, he said. You couldn't, because you're too stupid, said the father. Excuse you. Oh boy. I don't know. I don't know where. I don't know if he's worse here in the book or the movie. It's kind of hard to tell. But sound like I'm gonna say I think he's worse in the book here. Talking about the dad here. Whew, I can't. I can't see that. This just really bugs me. A parent talking to their kid like this. Hey, you good? But I don't mind telling young Mike here about it. Seeing he'll be joining in the business one day. Ignoring Matilda, he turned to his son and said, I'm always glad to buy a car when some fool has been crashing the gears so badly they're worn out and rattle like mad. I get it cheap. And all I have to do is mix a lot of sawdust with the oil in the gearbox and it runs as sweet as a nut. So kind of cheating. How long will it run like that before it starts rattling again? Matilda asked him. Long enough for the buyer to get a good distance away, about 100 miles. That's dishonest, Daddy, Matilda said. It's cheating. No one ever got rich being honest, the father said. Customers are there to be diddled. Mr. Wormwood was a small, ratty-looking man whose front teeth stuck out underneath that thin, ratty mustache, or according to the movie, he's played by Danny DeVito. He liked to wear jackets with large, brightly colored checks, and sported ties that were usually yellow or pale green. Now, now take mileage and for distance, he went on. Anyone who's buying a secondhand car, the first thing he wants to know is how many miles it's done, right? Right, said the son. So I buy an old dump that's got about 150,000 miles on the clock. I get it cheap. But when no one's going to buy it with a mileage like that, but no one's going to buy it with a mileage like that, are they? And these days, you can't just take the speedometer out and fiddle with the numbers back like you used to 10 years ago. They fixed it so it's impossible to tamper with, unless you're a ruddy watchmaker or something. So what do? I use my brains, laddie. That's what I do. How? Young Michael acts fascinated. Seemed they he seemed to have inherited his father's love of crookedry. Wow, parent teaching their kids how to be crooked. Mm, 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 mm. Sit down. And I sit down and say to myself, how can I convert the mileage of 150,000 into 10,000 without taking the speedometer to pieces? Well, if I were to run the car backwards long enough, that would obviously do it. Numbers would click backwards, wouldn't they? But who's going to drive the flaming car in reverse for thousands and thousands of miles? You couldn't do it. Of course you couldn't, young Michael say. I scratch my head and use my brains. And when you've been given a fine brain like I have, you got to use it. All of a sudden, the answer hits me. I tell you, I felt exactly like that other brilliant fellow he must have felt when he discovered penicillin. Eureka! I got it. So what you do, Dad? Asked the son. The speedometer, Mr. Wormwood said, it runs off a cable that's coupled up to one of the front wheels. So I disconnect the cable where it joins to the front wheel. Next, I get one of those high-speed electric drills and couple them up to the end of the cable in such a way that when the drill turns, it turns the cable backwards. You got me so far? You following me? Yes, Daddy, young Michael say. The drill runs with a tremendous speed, the father say. So when I switch the drill on, the mileage numbers on the speedo spin backward at a fantastic rate. I can knock 50,000 miles off the clock in a few minutes with my high-speed electric drill. And by the time I finish, the car's only done 10,000 miles. It's ready for sale. With all that work he put into trying to cheat the system, he could put that same work into actually selling honest cars. Almost like making me think of Medea with when she talked about drug deals and stuff like that. That's one thing. That's one interesting thing about drug deals. They be able to have somebody selling over here, somebody selling over there, somebody over there. They'd be able to dodge the police here, be able to dodge this, and that. If you could put all that energy into doing that and trying to cheat the system and everything, you could put that same energy in an honest job. Yeah, Mr. Wormwood. Yeah, all that energy you could put in actually selling good cars. But now he don't want to do that. By the time I finish, the car has only done 10,000 and it's ready for sale. She's almost new. I say to the customer, she's hardly done 10,000. Belonged to an old lady who used it once a week for shopping. You can really turn the mileage back with an electric drill, young Michael said. I'm telling you trade secrets. So don't you go talking about this to anybody else. Say, you don't want to put me in the jug. You don't want to put me in jug, do you? I guess that's his way of saying jail. Say, I won't tell a soul, the boy said. Do you do this to many cars? Every single car that comes into my hand gets that treatment. They all have mileage cut under 10, and they all have their mileage cut to under 10, and before they're offered for sale, And to think I invented that all by myself. It's made me a mint. Matilda, who had been listening closely, said, "But Daddy, that's even more dishonest than the sawdust. It's disgusting. You're cheating people that trust you." Like, well, if you don't like it, then don't eat the food in this house. It's brought with the profits. Like, it's dirty money and I hate it, Matilda said. Two red spots appeared on her door on the father's cheeks. "Who do you think you are?" he shouted. "The Archbishop of Canterbury or something, preaching to me about honesty?" Like, you're just an ignorant little squirt, like, who hasn't the foggiest idea what you're talking about. Like, quite right, Harry. That's one interesting about the Matilda's mother in the movie. Thinking back on it, her voice, the mother's voice in the movie, kind of makes me think of Harley Quinn. "That's right, Mr. J. You got some nerve talking to your father like that. You keep your nasty little mouth shut so we can all watch the program in peace." They were in the living room eating their supper on their knees in front of the telly. They, the, the suppers were TV dinners in floppy aluminum containers with separate compartments for the stewed meat, boiled potatoes, and peas. So TV dinners, huh? Mrs. Wormwood sat munching her meal with her eyes glued to the American soap opera on the screen. That's kind of surprising. Let's see. Because they say they're eating their dinner. I guess they got some soap operas that come on in the evening. Most mostly know that soap operas come on in the daytime because that's when my grandparents would be watching them in the daytime. Yeah. Maybe there are some that come on at night. I guess. She was a large woman whose hair was dyed complete platinum blonde, where you could see where her mousy brown bits were growing from out the roots. She wore heavy makeup and had one of those unfortunate bulging figures where the flesh appears to be strapped in around the body to prevent it from falling out. So here's a little interesting thing in the book. Okay, so here's got Matilda, got the brother. Now look at Mr. Wormwood here. He looks skinny, right? And his wife looks chubby. In the movie, it was the other way around. They had now he was still short in both the book and the movie, but in the movie they made Mr. Wormwood chubby because he was because they casted Danny DeVito, and the mother was streamlined, which is another reason why the mother in the movie version remind me of Harley Quinn, the streamlined appearance and also the way she's talked and everything. Mm. Okay, we're almost done here. Mommy, Matilda say, Mommy, Matilda say, would you mind if I eat my supper in the dining room so I can read my book? The father glanced up sharply. "I would mind," he snapped. Say, "supper is a family gathering, so no one leaves the table until it's over." "But we're not at the table," Matilda said. "We never are. We're always eating off our knees and watching the telly." Oh boy. "What's wrong with watching the telly, may I ask?" the father said. His voice had suddenly become soft and dangerous. Oh boy. Here's another picture to show. Yeah, I might want to be cautious in this mode here. Especially um look like he's holding the knife, for his food and everything. But maybe put that knife down when you're talking, Mr. Wormwood. I'm just saying that's not a very good look. Oh dear. No, they were. Matilda didn't trust herself to answer, so she kept quiet, but she could feel the anger boiling up inside her. She knew it was wrong to hate her parents like this, but she was finding it very hard not to do so. All the reading she had done had given her a view on life that they had never seen. If only they could read little Dickens or Kipling, they would soon discover there was more to life than cheating people and watching television. True. And another thing she resented was being told constantly that she was ignorant and stupid when she wasn't. The anger inside her went on boiling and boiling as she lay in bed that night. She made a decision. She decided that every time her father, and her mother was beastly to her, she would she would get back her own she would get her own back in some way or another. Hmm. She would A small victory or two would help her tolerate their idiocies and would stop her from going crazy. You must remember, she was still hardly 5 years old. It's not easy for someone as small as that to score points against an all powerful grown up. Even so, she was determined to have a go. Her father, after that had happened, was in front of the telly that evening, was first on her list. Yeah. And of course, I do remember in the movie when she blew the TV up there. So yeah, we're gonna. All right, so we're gonna stop here because it's close. It's close to the hour mark. There, I don't want to go. Don't want to go past the hour mark here. So next time we're gonna see how she's gonna get back at her parents for that little performance last night there. So, yep, it's pretty good so far. It's been a pretty much like I remember it growing up there. So yeah. Oh, let me show y'all something real quick before we close out. There, it's gonna be. I got some spring cleaning to do next week while I'm on vacation. There, probably be starting on it Monday because Sunday gotta go to church and then of course the Bible reading stream. But Monday I'll be starting some spring cleaning around the house to get things arranged and kind of get things in order. However, I do plan to hopefully get some content up in the midst of that. Some Yu-Gi-Oh manga reading, and also a new toy review. Uh, be taking a look at this guy. Yeah, so I'm gonna be having a review on the Megazord there. And yes, he does break into the 5 different Zords to make them. So yeah, we'll be seeing that. This is I actually got this Friday from the reignition line that even got because they sort of updated him and got a little missile launch there, kind of give you a little 90s feel there, sword and all of that. And there's a couple of other things I got that I will do. That I'll try to do a toy review of as well. The Blade Blaster. Remember how they always say the sword would turn into a blaster there, like so. Blade Blaster up. Yeah. So, and yep, they turn right back into it. Mm-hmm. And also the Power Morpher. Yeah. Yeah, definitely be yeah, got the little thing that. It's
morphin' time!
Oh yeah. Tyrannosaurus. Okay. All right, so yeah.
We need dinosaur power now!
So that's I will be. So yeah, we'll try to have some toy reviews of that, Yu-Gi-Oh manga reading, and also give you guys updates as I go along with my spring cleaning, as well as some other things that might come up. You never know. But those are the things I do know about that I will. Oh, excuse me. Try to get up and running and share with you guys between the streams there. So be on the lookout for that. And like I say, we will be here Sunday night for the Bible reading stream, more in the Book of Judges there. So until then, definitely like, share, and subscribe. Definitely spread the word what's going on here on the Miracle Productions YouTube channel. So you can all be here during these live streams and also checking out the content. Also, if you hadn't seen it already, check out the review that we just did of Power Rangers Sierra Force, an independent Power Ranger series made from Africa. We got it's a two-parter. My wife and I, me and Queen Tina, we did part one of the review. Then we came again for part two with EJ and Janara. So yeah, definitely check that out. It's already up there. Check out me and EJ an audio video, an audio of us of me asking him about his performance in the play Soldier's Play. And we'll probably next month look forward to talk about him in another play that he's going to be in, Red Light. Um, so until then, yeah, like I said, like, share, and subscribe. Definitely get our available books that we have. Also, definitely support us on that Patreon. Support the channel on Patreon. And just like Iceman Universe does. And also, you can check out his stuff as well by supporting him on Patreon as well. Reactions to Hey Arnold, Ed and Eddie, Courage the Cowardly Dog, and Spy Family, One Piece, and Naruto. And I think he's doing a few others. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I got a notification that he's recently. If any of y'all are interested in this, if any of y'all are interested in Family Guy, I think he's reacting to that there. I had to double check, but yeah, if he is, you'll see it when you check him out. Those of you who are into Family Guy, and also definitely support the Miracle Crew. Uh, Yours truly, King Gabe, Queen Tina, Big Sis Casey, and Janara Nelson, and also EJ the Supreme. And definitely, just like you hang out with us on the live stream, also hang out with us on Discord and Facebook. And let's tell each other some stuff on the McCary app. And I'm probably gonna be getting some stuff up on my McCary, up on my account with the McCary app to try to sell as I'm cleaning through with my spring cleaning. So yeah, so I'll definitely try to have some stuff up there. So you guys check out the McCary app, and y'all want to sell some of y'all stuff, yeah, definitely do so and see what I'm selling there. So till then, we will see y'all Sunday night in the Bible reading live stream, and from then on, other things. And till then, y'all take care, everybody. Peace out.